Well, hey everybody, it's JJamJim, and welcome back to episode 10 of our City Skylines tutorial / Let's Play series. Here we are in our city looking at our reclaimed land that we got last time from our industrial area that we have now migrated out over here a little bit. There's a couple buildings, but mostly out to our rural farming. And of course, our office right here, right? Our office park that we have right here. So I think what I'd like to do in this episode is, one, I do want to hit that 12,000 mark, our next milestone, which we're very close to, which is still a few thousand people away. A little over 2,000 people left. And I think to help do some of that and to create a little bit more diversity in these neighborhoods, since we didn't have high density when we got these neighborhoods, I think what I'd like to do, maybe around these parks, I'm thinking like right here and potentially sprinkled in here, is put some high density residential. Now, we do have very, very healthy, even demand for everything currently, and that's really, really good. We also have a very good budget going. So I think let's try to push for that 12,000 mark. So let's get started right away. I'm gonna just grab this building here and that one. I'm gonna put an office there, or I'm sorry, let's put that back, I guess. We'll have a high density building there. Let's make this block high density, overlooking the park and that sort of thing, just giving us a little bit of diversity in our zoning. And I'm gonna make that a little office there, or I'm sorry, a little commercial, and then this is gonna be high density. And then maybe even something like this corner, perhaps this corner as well, and then maybe even sprinkled around here like that, because even some of this low density commercial is still has a little bit of height to it, and it'll sort of help bridge that a little bit. Let me try this one too, just trying to even out our skyline a little bit. Like, what if these, instead of being houses, were in fact apartments? Same thing there. I'm not going to zone that because of the high school right there. It should help get some population in here as well. And what the hey, let's put one there as well. And then maybe just something like that. Just trying to think about aesthetic. Like, what if we did that as well? Just to give us some variation in our other neighborhoods that didn't have the option to have it before. You know, right on the main strip, most of that is on the main strip here. What if we just took this? And then maybe even like this. There we go. I'm gonna add just a little bit more commercial along here as well. I don't really want to do this whole side because I'm not sure what this is going to be yet, but maybe just a wee bit more of the commercial to even out that demand a bit. Okay, and then the other thing I'd like to do is fill in this area. Now that we've reclaimed it, there is no more pollution. Ground pollution is all clear. In fact, our average ground pollution is 0. I don't really know how that is possible since we have this here, but it's just kissing the edge. These guys are just out of range, which is really, really awesome. In fact, we could always just put some like trees to block that area, right? We don't have to go crazy with detailing. but it can hide some imperfections that you have in your land, where things change a little bit, where there's variation in height. It also can help reduce some of the noise from the highway as well, which can be really, really good. And it oftentimes will fill things in really, really nicely. Not quite finished with that, but just a little bit there. It's kind of nice. Okay. Let's not get too distracted here. Let's begin. Now, this neighborhood, I think we'll probably end up doing just a sort of a grid-like suburb type of pattern on this side. And I don't think we're going to go with an avenue, since we have an avenue close here, and it's not very big. So let's just go right off of this and to about there. That's as close as I want to get to the highway, I think. Okay, so do something like that. Let's see. Do something like that. And let's do that. And what we can do here, wonder if we can get under that road. Can. Let's just go straight with that. I don't know where that's going to go yet. And what if we were to do... Go a little curve. Kind of match the highway a little bit. That's kind of nice. And then over here, I think we're going to do something like this. And then what we're going to do is our little cul-de-sac trick here.
Italian leather.
To...
Italian threading. Peru is Italian for jean jacket. We take the second best.
Let's turn off the road guidelines. Sometimes I can mess. There we go. Make sure it's only 2 every time. Cool. Perfect. And that just gives us a little bit of like a little cul-de-sac to this area. Let's make sure this is all watered because we had stuff here before, so that's good. As far as the main strip, I think we can do for a little more commercial. I think on this side though, let's do a apartment building, maybe there as well, and there. Now let's take a look at services and see what we might need over here. So there's a clinic right there. There is death care close by. Looks like we have fire coverage. Police? No, not so much. So let's maybe add something right there. Great, that'll cover most of this area. And actually, probably upgrade this area as well, since we didn't have really much police coverage there. Although that's not covered, so maybe we shift it. Doesn't really cover that regardless. I will leave it there. Schools. We don't have any schools on this side, and we are a little under the capacity, so we could do for a school. Let's just put a regular community school under here. Let's do that, because then the parking lot is right off the road, which I like. I think we'll put a small playground next to it. I'd like to do that. And let's see what do we have for high school coverage. A little bit more, and we're actually pretty good with that, so I'm not going to put another high school here. I know this isn't technically covered, but those students will be able to get there, so I'm not super worried about it. To that end, I'd like to put a basketball court over here as well, with a gap in between it. So I'm going to put some path through here. Like that. Make this a little park square. Okay. Let's also put in trying to think about what we have for... I guess we do have enough parks there. We're going to have to add more parks in here. And while I have this open, I think we should just do it. What I'm going to do is put a dog park on this road. Oh, and darn you, game. I could put one here across the street from the cemetery. Dog parks are a really nice addition because they give... Let's see, put this on 2-speed. It has a very wide radius. And they're really nice parks and they're not that expensive. But maybe we sacrifice some space for a larger playground. Or we could just put that larger playground right on here. Make all those folks much, much happier. That'll also help increase our population as well. And why not put a skate park right there? This place doesn't have any parks. I think we could do for a basketball court out here somewhere. Out in the burbs. Maybe right on the main strip here. Right on the main road. Should cover a lot of that area. Or at least help just a little bit, right? Cool. Awesome. So that's good. It's always good to kind of go through some of those things once in a while, because sometimes you find that you'll end up leaving an area a little untended, basically, right? Just a little less love than you had before. And so it's good to kind of go through that stuff once in a while. Okay. So let's go. All that will be residential. We'll do a row of shops on the other side of this. Okay. I'm going to put just one little shop right there. And the rest of this. I'm not going to zone inside of that cul-de-sac. I'm not going to zone right there, though, but I will go up to about there. Cool. Did some apartments right there. And I'm not going to zone inside of here. We'll probably end up filling in those in with some trees. But perhaps a little bit more of that. And... oh... if we put a little plaza on this side. Like so. And a couple shops. Pull that back a little bit. I want to put some trees in between there. And I'm actually going to change this road to be more of like a service type of road, because I don't know what this is going to be yet. And then I'm just going to keep that going straight through like it is on that angle. Because we don't know what this is all over here yet, right? We can't quite cross the river, so we're not sure yet. We're not sure what that is, but that's okay. Great. I'm going to take this road, and I'm going to give ourselves just a little bit more of the industry. And I'm going to give them a little bit of a treat and put plaza down right there. Give them a place to go on their break. You know, it's smoggy, it's nasty, but you know what? These guys And gals still need to eat, right? So we'll give them a little plaza with picnic tables. I like putting this plaza in industrial areas because it's the blue tile, which quite frankly doesn't always seem to fit sometimes in the general color scheme of City Skylines. So I like that we can do that right in the industrial area. It seems to work a little bit better. That's just my opinion, though. That's an aesthetic choice. You do whatever you want. Because, there we go. I don't know why this is abandoned. Might need more people. Not sure. And I think minus that just a little bit. Excellent. And I think that'll be a nice little neighborhood there. Very cool. Now over here, I don't know quite what that's going to be yet. For some reason I hesitate to zone off of this, and I don't really know why. It just doesn't feel like quite right yet. We could probably take a look at this situation. You know what I'm thinking? I don't know if I can fit 2 in there, but I wonder if I can get... not quite. I can get a dog park in here. My goal is to use this to bridge the power to our pumps just for temporary purposes, because remember, we are going to move these pumps at some point, but I'd like to get rid of using some of these because we're also going to need to move these windmills. This is not ideal. They cause a lot of noise, a lot of trouble, a lot of problems, so it's not ideal that they're there, but for now they're going to have to stay. Although with our updraft tower here, maybe able to actually get rid of these. And that's going to make them much happier. Now that disconnects the power, but if I was to put a commercial building right there, I don't need, because as soon as the sooner you can get rid of ugly, you know, really ugly power lines, the better off you're going to be. There we go. That's coming in right. Nice. So we can get rid of all of this. Yeah. Just need this connection. But again, what happens if we do that? Because what we can do is make this just a nice little park area in between here. So let's actually gonna do that and that. This is a little bit of a slope here. Not super great for a park, if I'm being honest. But maybe if we did it over here. Now that building just came in, so now we're connecting the power back up. Very good. So that's okay, but what if this was just... let's see. Maybe I can get that a little closer to the road. Cool. Just make that a pathway since we were kind of fighting the terrain a little bit there. And then maybe this just becomes more of a natural park. Some rocks. Rocks and vegetation. Hear all those upgrades? That's what I like to hear. All the upgrades. That means our population is skyrocketing. We're almost at that 12,000 already. We're almost up to making 10,000 per clip, and we still have quite a very healthy, fairly even and balanced RCI demand. All is well, my friends. All is well. There. Now we turn sort of an ugly little area. I'm going to actually get rid of this tree. Put in... can put maybe some smaller trees in here. There. Very cool. Do a little mix there. Oh, maybe one of those as well. Because I don't think we really want to zone too much off of that one way. But having a couple shops there I think is cool. Great. We have a little shop. And a little bit of that dog park. Another shop there. A little bit of shop there as well. There. And now we've eliminated a lot of our power lines. Got rid of the wind turbines over here, which is really helpful. And our power is still just fine because our solar updraft tower is awesome. Now, what would be absolutely phenomenal? And I have a trick to do it. So, with Natural Disasters DLC, what I like to do to jump power sometimes, when I can, is under the fire department, under the little meteor here, this is disaster services. Lots of cool little buildings under here. Is this earthquake sensor. Now, technically it's an earthquake sensor, but in our imaginations, it sort of looks like a utility electrical box, right? Something you'd find tucked away, you know, fenced around for, you know, some sort of like a substation type of a thing. So what we can do is this has a power radius to it, and you can place it anywhere. It does not need to be on a road. So, since the power is so close here, I'm wondering if I can put this right between the highway and jump the power. Let's find out. Not quite. Not quite. But I bet if I put another one right here, I could. Great. Now, look at that. Now all of this is connected. Even better, boom. That, my friends, is a very handy way, a vanilla way, to conduct your power. Now this, we could make this a little nicer, right? We could run this along the highway over here, which I think maybe we should do since we're in here anyway. Let's pretty it up. I'm gonna pause it so we don't have anyone get upset with us. Then we can get rid of it over here, right? Have it feel a little more natural. I think that should be close enough, but I'm gonna attempt to. I'm gonna go up by maybe 9. That should be fine. And let's go back down to ground level. To about there. Okay. And then just have it follow along. Which feels a lot more natural, right? Going along some country road, off-ramp, that type of thing. There. And now we're using our power lines effectively. Now we're not spending the maintenance costs that it takes. I mean, it's not very much, right? It's a few pennies here and there. 20 cents per cell. But the upkeep, the upkeep is 48 cents per week per cell. So, you know, that adds up over time. It's quite a little city we're creating here. Now, we have a little bit more demand for offices, so I think I might have some of that spill onto this side of the road here. I might even put one on this corner. A little bit of that, maybe. Great. It's quite a little hub right here. And what we can do is, now that this is not industrial, let's pretty this up a little bit. Let's make this nicer for these folks. There. With some trees. Feels a lot nicer. I think for this area, though, I kind of like to have this strip. Cool. And actually, what might be nice is making this all bike path. Looping around. Because it does do basically a giant loop. I may do that off camera. But it does add some niceness for these folks. It's all about them happy faces, you know? There we go. We hit our big city, which now means we can get a crematorium, a water treatment plant, floating garbage collector, and a cryopreservatory, which is awesome. That also comes with another tile as well. Excellent. So, first thing we're going to put down is these. So we have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 cemeteries. They're not full, but they're going to get full. And so, next to them, I'm going to pop down a crematorium. So, the hearses will go out. They will collect the bodies. And when we need to empty the cemetery, they can just drive right next door, pick up the bodies, and burn them. It's a little morbid, but, you know, that's... such is life. Cool, so that's a good one. I'm actually not entirely sure what this cryopreservatory does. This controversial building stores the clinically deceased until the technology becomes available to revive them. Cryonics allow living matter to be preserved for extended periods of time. Bodies are lowered into underground nitrogen tanks, after which their temperature is lowered to negative 186 degrees. I see. So it's sort of just a weird... it sort of just acts like a very strange, not as high capacity cemetery. But it's pretty expensive. Maybe we'll put that down in some sort of high-tech area or something like that. What is our next milestone? We're actually very close to it, I think. 15,000. We get our third loan and then an actual solar power plant. This, to me, this 15,000 mark, this is the... oh, I guess the most boring of the milestones, in my opinion. But, you know, it's necessary. But we'll push for that. Some abandonment issues, but I think we'll be okay there. We are going to want to push somewhere into this area and do some more building of city stuff. So maybe let's take a look. We have 2 tiles now that we can get. Now, we could buy this entire island. Perhaps put like a downtown area on here. like we had sort of talked about. Looks like 3. That would essentially mean that we get these 9, probably. Just to make a nice square for ourselves. Then that means we wouldn't be crossing the highway over here. But this little inlet, it would actually be really nice to put our water treatment or our water collection. Sort of far away, you know, there's a little more farmland out here. We could do some more rural stuff. Same over here as well. And then maybe, so maybe that is our 9 tile plan. And then this simply is for future. What will the future hold? If we get to that 9 tile mark, we fill in the things, we hit our milestones, and we decide to keep going. We could use this tile for our airport as well. I think we do it. I think we do it. But my friends, I think that is going to happen in the next episode. We'll tackle our downtown area and see what that brings us. Friends, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, let me know in the comments section below. I want to hear your thoughts, comments, suggestions, questions, anything you have. I'd love to hear it. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. And see you Skylines. Bye everybody.